Hey guys, not only in this video do I make an epic wheel riding video game, but there's a really cool catch, because for what might be the first time in YouTube's history, you, the viewer, can play this video game right here in this YouTube video you're watching. Now I know that sounds impossible, but I think there's something we can do. And I get it, video games are obviously not the same thing as regular videos. Video games have an input where you can move the character around, but videos don't have anything like that, and they just defy your will. Maybe you've seen those Survivor shows where you get to pick the basic outcome of what the survivor does in the video or I guess game. Now the crazy thing is YouTube videos actually do have an input too, and this is the 10-second skip option on YouTube videos. Even if video games aren't the reason this exists, this could still be used as an input for something like that. And this gives me a crazy idea. Okay, hear me out. Let's say we have in our video a character, and he's running along and he trips on something, and he face plants, and then it pops up on the screen. Good try, kind of like a regular video game. Now the viewer restarts the video or skips the video backwards to when the character is running before he trips. But this time, right before the character is about to trip, the viewer double taps the right side of the screen, which skips it instantly 10 seconds. In here we have an animation of the guy jumping over the obstacle he would have tripped on and running on his way. Does that make any sense? Don't worry, if it doesn't, you'll still be able to play the game just fine. Now I tested this concept on a really simple animation just to make sure this would actually work. You can see the running character here gets absolutely wiped by that obstacle flying by. So I reset the animation, and this time, instead of letting him just run into the obstacle, I skip it 10 seconds into the future, where we get to see an animation of him sliding underneath the obstacle. With that done, it was time to get to creating the ideas for the game. So now we know how this game is going to work, let's start creating it. Hey, I just said that. Anyways, so the format of this game kind of plays like an endless runner, but those can get really boring. So I play it more like a quest than an endless runner, and I need to make sure we have some sick ideas. So for the game/video's protagonist, I'm thinking we have a whale, and this whale could be a pet for this crazy whale rider guy. My brother took some basic sketches I drew and made them look awesome, and if you guys have any ideas for any names for this whale and guy, please let me know in the comments, because I don't have anything yet except maybe fire whale for the whale. Now that we have our protagonist, we're gonna need our antagonist, and I'm thinking we have a bad gang of killer whales with some bad whale riders. And I don't really define what they're trying to take out the main characters in the game, but in my head I kind of thought that the main characters had gotten some pics of some illegal krill or something, and these guys are trying to stop them from reaching the authorities or something. Since we got these whale gangs, naturally the setting lends itself to like a by-the-water cyberpunk. I also put down a whole bunch of asset ideas, and you'll have to play the game to see which ones I use inside of the game. For the animation of this video/video game, I used Procreate and Procreate Dreams. I sketched the design for a simple whale swimming animation, and after I make sure it moves the way I like it to, at least somewhat, I'll probably fix it up more later, I can then clean it up and make it look nice, and then color it and stick our rider on board. Now for the background animation, I worked on that cyberpunk city we talked about, and I wanted to make sure that the pink light reflecting around the whale would make sense. I went with some bright colors for the city, keeping with the light pink, blues, and greens. By the way, that large hose sticking out of that one building is like a whale transport system. It's like a giant water slide. For this building, I got the design from one of those adding machine thingies you see in offices. This guy looks like some sort of stealth bat. I made sure to give all the buildings that bright lighting I gave the whale, as well as put some impossibly bright colored fog around the bottom of the buildings. Then I could take the background and animate it in a continuous loop. Then I put the main layer in front of that, making this move a little faster for some depth. I put some simple water animations in the foreground, and now our whale can live free in his home world. Now for the killer whale gangs, I used a reference photo for the whale, and then I gave the rider an overcoat using red accents on both the whale and the man, and gave the whale like its angry open mouth look. Okay, hold on a second. Orcas are technically dolphins. Then I could animate the dolphin jumping up and taking out the whale and rider, as well as this nifty end screen that plays for about 10 seconds. Then I could use the same animation, but this time the whale jumps over the orca and continues. I create this other killer whale that's got the perfect nom 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 kind of look. Now, just having a game where you jump over orcas the whole time is kind of boring, so I wanted to make some other things to deal with as well. So I create this island that he can battle roll over, and he can unlock this surfboard. Speaking of surfboard, we need something to surf, so I create and animate this wave, and then the whale can use the board to surf on that said wave. Up until this point, we've been at the surface of the water, but it'd be really cool if we went under the water. And I needed something to give reason for our whale and rider to dive. So I make this blockade of barrels and whales and guys, and it looks like the killer whale gang went up ahead and tried to block off our antagonists so that they would be forced to go underwater. Now in this next biome, I think it's a biome, I absolutely love the concept of an underwater city. So I begin to work on some buildings and structures, making sure to use those bright neon lights in the windows of the buildings for a cohesive look. I create and animate a beam that would move in the foreground, and then animate the looping background in a similar way to how I did it on the surface. Now for our underwater baddies, I geared them up with some scuba mask and a scuba tank. I didn't give that to our main whale rider, but I'm pretty sure he'll be okay. Like what I did on the surface, I wanted to make some other fun animations that would add some variety, so I created this submarine that I can then animate in its natural environment, but I'll leave what it does out as a surprise for when you play the game. I create this buoy that would dangle down and block your path so that the whale and rider would be forced to go back up to the surface. For the end of the game, I created this building that I think is some sort of whale authority protection place, and once you make it here, it marks that the whale and rider are safe. Maybe these guys have some chunky pilot whales that can police and take out the killer whales or something like that. By the way, during this entire process, I take the animated pieces and put them in my editing software. And then at the end, I would edit them to the proper length that they're supposed to be. And I tried using this exact 10 seconds audio track so that I could line up the footage exactly, but this only worked part of the time. I'm like pretty sure that the 10-second skip option isn't exactly 10 seconds on YouTube, so I ended up having to do everything manually by downloading it to YouTube, then trying the game, seeing where it was delayed or too early, then re-editing it, re-downloading it, and I probably did this like 30 times. And without further ado, let's get into the game. A quick note here is you might not be able to play this game on your TV. The skip function might not work the same as on your phone. So if you can't play it on your TV, just switch to your phone and you should be able to play it that way.